horse shit.
That's the tough part, is that you look at what happened to Rose and you go, how are these assholes not getting the same thing? They deserve it just as much, if not more.
The White Sox, a bunch of guys on that team in 1919 got banned from the game for throwing the World Series.
You should be banned if you cheat the first time. You should be gone. And if domestic violence, you should be gone. Agreed. We should not be tolerating those two fucking things in 2020. And the fact that we are is disgusting.
In the big inning, there was baseball. Today is January 22nd, a Wednesday, and you are watching the greatest podcast on earth. I am CJ. You can follow me on Twitter at CJ in Pinstripes, and I am flanked by Evan. How you doing there, Evan?
I'm doing good. You can follow me at Evan D. Wetzel 4 on Twitter. This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. We got a good show for you today.
Boy, did a lot of things happen since the last time we were on the air.
Yeah.
Some things happened since the last time we were on the air.
It's been a very long and rough off season. Some good things, some bad things, but we'll get involved with the bad things later on in the episode.
No, I mean, we're kind of going to start with a bad thing, too.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, well, it's a good thing, like, kind of with a bad thing inside of it. It's kind of like chocolate with poop in it.
Yeah.
So, Derek Jeter's a Hall of Famer. Yay.
Yay.
Derek Jeter was one vote shy. Suck my balls, whoever you are. I hope your mother... I don't want to be too mean about this. Has a cold.
I was going to go with explosive diarrhea.
That's good too. But if you're old, if that person's mom is old, diarrhea,
that could kill him.
Diarrhea can actually be kind of deadly. Dehydrate you really bad, and
That's
make your
true.
nipples fall off. So Derek Jeter was one vote shy. He received 396 votes for 99.7%.
It's so ridiculous.
The second highest percentage behind, of course.
And I've always had
The
a problem with
unanimous
this
Mariano
because
Rivera.
there's several players who should have and could have been unanimous.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr.,
Griffey, yeah.
Cal Ripken Jr. maybe.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with Ripken. Seaver. I mean, hell, Babe Ruth didn't even get in unanimous.
Yeah, I just don't get why the voters have to make it about themselves sometimes. Okay,
Randy
And-
Johnson.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And one guy voted for Brad Penny. So is that the vote that got taken away from Jeter? You gave it to Brad Penny?
Right. Well, I mean, the only reason people are even getting so close and why Mariano Rivera managed to get the unanimous selection last year is because now all votes are public. There's no such thing as choosing to.
Right.
There's no such thing as choosing to make your ballot public. Your ballot is public.
Right.
So I guess back last year it was a case of nobody wanted to be the idiot that left him out. Well, I guess there's an idiot okay with leaving Derek Jeter out. I suppose because Mariano Rivera was the greatest at his position, at relief pitcher. Derek Jeter, great as a player as he is, wasn't the best shortstop of all time. Wasn't anywhere close to the best shortstop of all time.
But I also think shortstop has evolved into a different thing than what it was when the game first started.
Well, all positions do. All positions do.
Yeah, I know that, but a lot of shortstops back in the day were based on their defensive ability. That's what got them into the Hall.
Yeah,
So
but that's how it is today. I mean, a guy like Didi Gregorius is seen as one of the best offensive shortstops.
in a
He's
sense,
not
but
anything great.
I've seen people ranked slightly higher than Jeter in certain categories that I disagree, and I've seen him ranked higher in certain categories where I disagree. If you look at everything to rank Jeter on, he's ranked about 12th in the Hall for shortstops. His WAR is 12th all time for shortstops at around 75.
There you go.
Which is really good.
It's a really good number.
It's not A-Rod's number though. His is like 118 or something. crazy
A-Rod,
like
A-Rod's
that.
is pretty high. I don't know how much of it is from shortstop, though. Not all 118 is from shortstop.
That is
it?
correct.
I
No,
think
it's not.
A lot of it would be from third base because he ended up playing at third more than he played at shortstop
That is correct.
for his
Yep.
career. That one voter can suck a donkey log. We also got Larry Walker finally in his final year of eligibility.
Happy.
I'm very, very
Yep,
happy about
I'm
that.
very happy.
He deserved that. It's been a long time coming. I mean, 10 years to finally get in.
The Coors Field effect is so stupid too because if you're batting 350 4 seasons
Yeah.
throughout your career, I'm sorry, that's a Hall of Famer.
Right, and if you look at his splits, you could see that that's not the case.
It's not
he
the case
hit
at all.
really well away from Coors as well. And then one other player of really good note is Kurt Schilling.
Yep.
In his 8th year of eligibility, got 70%, only 5% shy of getting in. He'll get in next year.
And that's up about 16% from last year, I believe. So he's a lock next year. If you get 70, and I believe someone said it the other night, of all the people that have ever reached 70, they all have gotten in.
Yeah. Scott Rowland had a pretty big increase. He was in the 10s last year, managed to receive 35% this year. Huge jump. We can only see what's going to happen next year.
Yeah.
Guys like Clemens and Bonds are still hovering at around 60.
Yeah. Which
Usually,
is interesting because I actually thought that they were going to get bumped up significantly
I
this
thought
year.
so too. And usually when guys are on the ballot for a long time, by year 7 or 8, you start to go, okay, this percentage is really starting to rise. That has not happened with
What I'm
them.
thinking, though, and maybe they're just being jerks and they want to make it so that they have to wait 10 years at least.
I can't see the voters collectively thinking that way.
Maybe not, but one jackass left Jeter off, so who
Omar
knows what they're thinking.
Omar Vizquel got a pretty good bump too. He is at 52.6%. I don't think he belongs in.
I don't either.
He was pretty stellar with the glove, but whenever I bring up that Omar doesn't belong in, people always go, well, you can look at a guy like you can look at other defense like Ozzie Smith. You can look at a guy like him. He didn't hit well either, and he's still in the Hall of Fame, folks. Vizquel was a great shortstop. He is not on the level of Ozzie Smith in terms of defensive insanity.
Alan Trammell.
What about Alan Trammell?
He's good.
All right, well, that was a non-thought. Wow. Guys like Todd Helton in his 2nd year got up to 29%.
Todd's not going to get in.
Todd is probably not going to get in. Andy Pettit is still down at 11%. He's not going to get in. I don't think he deserves to. Our boy Bobby Abreu managed to get past the 5% cutoff. He's at 5.5%. He'll probably be off the ballot next year. And then we got, listen to these names, everyone. I always like to look at the names of players off in the first ballot.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, once in a while, they piss me off. Because that's what happened to Jim Edmonds a few years ago.
And that's bullshit, too.
Jim
He's
Edmonds
one of
was
the greatest
one and
center
done.
fielders of all time, in my
Now,
opinion.
Jim Edmonds to me was borderline, and I could see the argument for no. But god damn it, I can't see the argument for him getting under 5% of the vote.
Exactly. That's the thing that pisses me off, because if you looked at some of the seasons he had in the outfield for the Angels, was unbelievable what he was able to do.
Yeah, and the guy was able to. He was really good on offense too. He wasn't just a defensive
he was
magician.
he was good on offense, but what he did on defense was, to me.
So here are some players who've been kicked off. Paul Konerko, I don't think he belonged in.
No, he
Some
didn't.
people think he did. I don't think
No.
so. Jason Giambi, that's disrespectful.
That pisses me off.
1.5%. Maybe the steroid thing didn't help him either, but
But don't a lot of people think Bobby Abreu took steroids? I've heard it. I don't believe it.
Alfonso Soriano, poor guy, who cares? Eric Chavez under 1%, who Mike Francesa apparently called a bona fide Hall of Famer.
Bona fide.
You're a bona fide idiot. Cliff Lee, Raul Ibanez, that makes me sad. I miss Raul. JJ Putz. Brad Penny got a vote. Adam Dunn got a vote. Then we've got the players who received 0 votes.
Do we even talk about Adam Dunn? Like, seriously.
We should. He had a very strange career.
But it's insanely strange.
In fact, he was kind of like the pioneer of the way players play now. He was that first all or nothing guy. You would watch him go up there. He would have like 30% strikeouts. He would have like 20% walks, and then everything else is a home run.
Right.
No, okay, so the players that received 0 votes. Ready for this? If I can ever get there. We have Carlos Pena. We have somehow fucking Heath Bell was on this thing. Heath Bell was a dominant closer for like 2 years. Signs with the Marlins and takes diarrhea dumps all over the field.
He was so bad.
Rafael Furcal. Brian Roberts, that's a name. Jose Valverde.
Brian Roberts was really?
Well, I mean, so in order to be eligible, all you have to do is play 10 years.
Oh, okay.
That's it. You only have to have 10 years of service. If you get 10 years of service, you're on the ballot. You don't have to like make a case or anything. So these are just guys who played 10 years or more.
That seems a little ridiculous, but okay.
Jose Valverde, who sucked. Sean Figgins. What?
Sean Figgins was hilarious.
Sean Figgins just made his first ballot?
I guess. I thought he was been retired for about 10 years now.
I just remember him from MVP baseball. That's what I remember him the most for. And Josh Beckett. Wow, Josh Beckett didn't even get one vote. Weren't there people on Twitter who were saying that
Yes.
he might get in?
Yes.
He didn't even get one vote. You guys are idiots if you said that.
But how did Brad Penny get a vote over him? Like, seriously. If Josh Beckett is sitting right there, I'm going to go him over frickin' Penny.
I also like to look. I'm looking at Baseball Reference. I usually, when I cite WAR, I prefer to go with Fangraphs.
Yeah.
But since I have it open, I might as well look.
Cool.
The player with the least WAR on this entire list was Heath Bell. If you wanted to take a guess as to how much WAR he had,
I want it to be negative, but I guess it's like
not.
2 or something.
it's like 7.1.
Okay.
7.1. 1/10 of what Derek Jeter got in his career.
Yeah.
Other guys like Jose Valverde down at 11.5. I mean, yikes on bikes. There are some guys down here that were pretty bad. Cliff Lee was kind of surprising that he was off so quickly. You know,
Yeah, he had some really good moments.
Cliff Lee, that's kind of a surprise.
I mean, it was a shame that when the Phillies got that great rotation, it really didn't amount to what they thought it could have been. Because the names on that were fantastic. The injuries and everything else did not fall into place.
Right. And then, of course, the player with the highest WAR on this list at 162.8.
Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
You know that's the most in baseball history?
I don't.
It's the most in baseball history.
Oh, it is.
I'm telling you.
Oh, it is the most.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were asking me.
No. I'm telling you it is. That's pathetic. Let's look at the guys who are on.
Clemens is ranked 3 for pitchers for WAR.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's really high too. He's like 120.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a look at the guys next year who are making their first ballot. There's a lot of them.
Is A-Rod next year or the year after?
So here we go. Tim Hudson, Mark Burley, Torrey Hunter. So far, nobody that I would put in. Dan Herron, no. Barry Zito, no. Aramis Ramirez, no. Victorino, no. Rios, Sizemore, AJ Burnett, Nick Swisher. These are all no's. Aaron Harang, Dan Ugla, CJ Wilson, Def no. LaTroy Hawkins, best known for getting booed by Yankee fans for wearing Paul O'Neill's number for like one game. Kadire, Corey Hart, Adam LaRoche, Rafael Soriano, Jeremy Affeldt, Grant Balfour. Best pitcher name ever. Grant Balfour. He's out here granting Balfour. That's incredible for a pitcher. Jason Marquis, Kevin Gregg, Skip Schumacher. None of those guys say Hall of Famer to me.
I didn't care for any of those names. I actually tuned out halfway through.
So it looks like Schilling will get in next year because there's
Guaranteed.
just really no one else to vote for. And then it'll be interesting to see who else gets a bump. I mean, maybe because of that, you see guys like Clemens and Bonds start to sniff the high 60s.
I mean, we've already established that baseball doesn't give a shit about cheating, so might as well let all the steroid users in now because they're going to let all the asshole Astros keep playing and fucking up baseball for everyone.
Well, my thing is, what are you going to leave an entire decade out of the game?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Also,
it makes no sense.
Also, Frank Thomas and Ken Griffey Jr. didn't do steroids. Headbutt yourself. Come on. Just because Ken Griffey Jr. smiles a lot doesn't mean he didn't do steroids. The guy had a bunch of tendon and ligament injuries. That is consistent with a person who abuses steroids and whose muscles get too big for them to function.
You know what, CJ? Yeah, you're probably right.
Cool. He played in the 90s. I love the backwards cap too. I love Ken Griffey Jr. baseball too.
Bro, he was on a Wheaties box.
I love the video game for the N64. I love all that stuff.
Call
me Junior. Call me Junior. I'm Ken Griffey Jr. This is Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, whatever the hell he says. So we'll see some player. I think Scott Rowland will get another big bump next year. There's just no one else to vote for.
But I don't think they could just put Schilling in by himself. That's going to drive everyone crazy, dude.
Yeah, but
he's
again,
the biggest
voters
asshole in the world, and people actually think that because of his political nonsense and everything else, it's going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. If you look at the numbers, they're not going to care. Exactly. You don't go from 54% to 70% and not get in. He's getting in.
Yeah, I would say if your reason is political, I mean that's got nothing to do with the Hall of Fame. Leave politics out of the Hall of Fame.
What should it should be his career on the field. That's it. I don't care what he does off the field.
Agreed.
Unless he rapes someone or murders someone. That's pretty bad.
Hell, even if he rapes someone, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the last episode of 27
YouTube has banned us. Do we have anything else to say about the Huff?
No, I think we're good. But so A-Rod's in 2 years then. He would be the following
2022.
year. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
They're getting to the point where they got to let steroid users in because there is no one else to look at, and it is embarrassing if they start putting people in who they think are clean but are kind of borderline just because of that principle.
I looked at the 2022 guys, too, to see if any other log jams will pop up for players. A-Rod's really the only talent that deserves to be in.
Right.
You can maybe make the case for Mark Teixeira, but I'd still say no.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
I would vote no on him. I would vote no on guys like Tim Lincecum. He was good for way too short a time. He would be in for 2022 on the ballot.
Yeah, no, Tim Lincecum. Sorry.
So it looks like that. It looks like that logjam is gone, man. We had a few years of 4 or 5 guys
son of a bitch.
that could get in, and now they're gone. Now it's all gone.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the ass turds.
Yeah, let's move on. Man, do we have a lot to discuss? So MLB's report finally came out, and
It's a joke.
And what was one of the wildest days for me in the history of my fandom, the Astros GM and manager both get suspended a year. About an hour later, they're both fired.
Yeah. It's like almost exactly an hour.
Yeah. And then a few days later,
Not even the very next day.
yeah, the very next day, Carlos Beltran gets steps down. Well, no,
It was Cora the next day.
Cora the next
and then
day.
Beltran about a week or two
Cora.
later.
So you got to wonder what is coming down the pipeline for Cora.
Right. But that's where I think they butchered it, is that this is an investigation and they did each team separately. Cora's the one who started the shit on the Astros. They should have done everything.
But MLB is saying, okay, look, so Cora started this shit on the Astros, but he's also implicated in the Red Sox. So we're not going to do anything yet. We're going to wait until that Red Sox investigation is
releasing
complete.
the information that we had from the Astros one was dumb because they caused this huge fucking frenzy where the Astros owner then went and made a surprise move that I don't think the league saw coming. I don't think they knew that he was going to fire both within the hour.
I had the feeling so when the news broke, I had the feeling he was going to fire them because as a franchise, you have to cut ties with that.
Right. I didn't think it was going to be that quick.
I didn't think it was going to be that quick
and
either.
because of that, the fan and the media started freaking out, and it's snowballed since. It has been snowballing for the past 3 weeks.
And the Red Sox, having seen the report for the Astros, then said, well, we can't have this in our clubhouse either. We're already implicated.
Right.
I would not be surprised if Cora, since Cora brought it to another team, if he received the lifetime ban. That wouldn't surprise me.
Not at all. I actually think something that serious might come for him.
Lundau and Hinch deserved a lifetime ban. I don't see how they didn't get one. They cheated their way to a World Series. Now, look, Pete Rose, I feel deserves his lifetime ban. The reason I feel he deserves his lifetime ban is because the sign was up in every clubhouse. If you cheat, if you bet on baseball, you are banned from baseball. And he did it anyway. Call the rule harsh. I think it's harsh too, but the rule existed. He got his punishment. This dude was banned for betting on the game. Yeah. And while he deserved it, you're going to tell me 2 guys who cheated their way to a World Series only got a 1-year suspension?
Right, and that's
Kiss my tits.
Yeah.
That's horse shit.
That's the tough part, is that you look at what happened to Rose and you go, how are these assholes not getting the same thing? They deserve it just as much, if not more.
The White Sox, a bunch of guys on that team in 1919 got banned from the game for throwing the World Series.
You should be banned if you cheat the first time. You should be gone. And if domestic violence, you should be gone. Agreed. We should not be tolerating those 2 fucking things in 2020. And the fact that we are is disgusting. And Manfred has had nothing to say about those. And we have the opioid crisis going on, too. Those are 3 drastic things that he needs to deal with, and he's not doing it.
Right. And then you got guys like Justin Verlander, who talks a whole bunch of shit about domestic violence, as he should.
Because I haven't heard from him for 3 months.
I haven't heard from him either. What I'm getting at is Justin Verlander rightfully, he was right to do this, started talking all this shit about domestic abusers in baseball. Good for him. Yeah. Things he should have been doing. But then the Astros make a little trade, and they acquire Osuna, a domestic abuser. That. And then what? Justin Verlander disappears into his little Justin Verlander cave and takes a big Justin Verlander dump on his Justin Verlander face.
Yeah.
His own face. I don't know how he did it.
Or on Kate Upton's face. She might like that.
She might be into that. Who knows? Good for them. Mm-hmm. So now, and this is my favorite part of all of this. When Carlos Beltran resigned, that means that the Mets were dragged into this whole thing, but didn't even get the fucking benefit of cheating to win.
Yep. So they have gotten no benefit of anything. He was there for 3 months, and it looks like a joke.
They didn't even get to cheat and win a World Series or anything, but still, he's gone.
Yep. They got their new manager.
Yeah, that's true. What's
Rojas.
Rojas. Yeah, that's it. Some guy.
He's related to Moises Alou, I think, or something.
Oh, they got it. That's it. Mets 2020.
Right?
Where is it?
Am I correct?
It was on the wall. Where'd it go? I guess
the getting deleted, but
welcome to the Mets circus.
No, I was literally talking to our producer Joe before the show about this, and he's a Mets fan. Neither one of us knows anything about Rojas, and I know everything about Bam Bam Mullins. So I'm upset about that shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like how the Giants signed what's his name, Joe Judge, and no one knows who the fuck that is.
Yeah, but I mean, you base it more on the fact that he's coming from the Patriots.
We'll talk Giants a little bit at the end.
Right.
We'll have time
and
to talk Giants.
Eli is
good. Yeah, he deserved it. So we'll talk Giants towards the end. Cool. So now it's gotten even fucking crazier somehow. Yep. So there's this account on Twitter. This account has recently deleted some tweets. Now this account is making posts as Carlos Beltran's niece. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I did.
So Carlos Beltran's niece has been posting all of this news about Carlos Beltran before it ever hit national news.
And it has been accurate.
And has been accurate each time. Posted about him getting the job. Yep. Posted about him having to resign. Mm-hmm. And now posted that the Astros players were wearing buzzers. Now, before we get into that, they brought up an excellent question. I was watching the Michael Kay show. Yep. It was an excellent question. What kind of niece has this information? What kind of niece? And I know, listen, call me a tinfoil conspiracist all you want.
It makes no sense.
Call me a tinfoil conspiracist all you want. In sports these days, there have been prominent not athletes, but prominent figures who have been found having burner accounts on Twitter. People have these burner accounts. Jerry Colangelo from the 76ers. He lost his job because he had a burner account. He was talking shit about Sixers players.
Burner account was to watch it beat Beltran.
That's what hold on. We're going to get there, folks. Hold on to your behinds. Hold on to your taints and grundles. This is about to get wild. Yep. So another one is the Buccaneers GM has a burner account in which all he does is praise Jameis Winston. And talk about how amazing the dude, this whoever is in charge of this account, it ended up being him, wrote a book about how Jameis Winston has a chance, since he's young, when the fuck did that happen, of becoming the greatest quarterback of all time.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just like Frank Kaminsky's gonna be the greatest center of all time.
What is Jameis Winston now, 26, 27?
I don't even know.
He's not young. He's a veteran at this point.
Not young.
The cops are coming. So listen, burner accounts happen in sports. Adam Gase, they say he has one too, because I won't even get into that one. I don't know the details about that one, but it's possible that Adam Gase has one too.
He's a nut.
Burner accounts in sports happen. It could be that this is just some player for the Astros organization, but what if it's Carlos Beltran himself?
Yeah. That's...
I want someone to dig into this so bad. If I knew where to start, I would do it. Yeah. What if it's him?
That would be so hilarious. I don't know why I thought of that almost instantly as you started going.
So you might be asking yourself, okay, so some person on Twitter said that they're using buzzers. So what? I'll tell you so what. There's a little clip. It's gone pretty viral of Jose Altuve.
There are a couple clips. Actually.
Yeah, but one particular one catches my attention.
Yep.
Jose Altuve hits a home run, walk-off home run. He's running around the bases, and when he gets halfway down third, he's clearly going, "Don't rip my jersey. Do not rip my jersey open. Don't do it." He did this.
No,
with
he
his
said
jersey.
more than that too.
Well, I don't remember what exactly.
He said
meant.
something like, "I'm wearing the thing."
Really?
Yeah, and it even translated into Spanish as the same thing. Like he could have been saying it in Spanish, like it looked the same. Like the person who
So a
read
lip
his
reader
lip.
from in the Spanish
Right.
language. Okay.
Confirmed that
Interesting.
it's
I'll have to look into
accurate
that
for both.
I'll have to look into that. I don't know anything about that, but what I do know is at one point, if you really pay close attention, at one point he does this, like he's like kind of like ruffling his jersey a little bit, and at one point when he does this, you see a little white thingy. You see a little thing that looks like a piece of tape right over here.
Also saw on Reddit.
On
as
Reddit,
well,
yeah.
But a lot of people are saying, "Oh, that's the confetti." So
Yeah, right.
okay,
Confetti has wires sticking out of it. Yeah.
right.
I forgot about the good old wired confetti. Yeah, and it's not just them, man. Like you can see even on guys like Bregman, you can see he's wearing the jersey, and there's just this little bloop sticking right here.
Wearing wires.
Yeah, a nipple, like a little nipple higher up on his chest.
I strongly believe they were wearing wires.
100%.
100%. And the thing that pisses me off the most right now about this whole thing is that Manfred came out and said, "Oh, there's not enough evidence to punish the players or do that." That's pretty big evidence that you saw right there. Maybe you don't have the actual device because you waited 2 fucking years to do the investigation. So maybe that's the issue, but there's plenty of evidence on this one.
Manfred and the higher-ups in Major League Baseball are just trying to make this whole thing go away.
Absolutely right.
They just want it to go away because you know what? The Astros are one of their big franchises. The Astros make them money.
Yeah. But guess what? It's not going to go away because the whole world's fucking pissed off right now.
Yeah, the Dodgers are pissed off because they basically got screwed out of 2 World Series. But
Dod-
even before that, I mean, Yankees are pissed off. Yankee fans are pissed off because the Yankees got screwed out of 2017.
And that's the biggest issue, too, is because 2016 was a rebuild. We somehow managed to figure it out, had an amazing season, and then boom, these assholes had to cheat on us because they couldn't beat us the right way. It's ridiculous.
The Yankees managed to make that series go 7 while the Astros knew what pitches were coming.
Right. As we were learning what kind of team we were going to become.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Unreal.
And I believe the LA City Council, whatever, has demanded Congress get involved to give them the trophy. That's not going to happen.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, Congress has nothing to do with this. There's no reason to get the fucking federal government involved in baseball. Get the fuck out. That's not your job. Kick rocks. Secondly, I would say, no, not necessarily that the title should go to LA because, like I said, the Yankees should have won 2017 ALCS.
They should have at least had the shot to prove that they could win over the Dodgers. So the fact that you just give it to them, that doesn't work.
Now,
everyone was cheated that series.
Now, listen, I'll say this, man. In NCAA, they do some really stupid stuff, and one of them is if a team gets caught, giving players money, or hell, even in the Penn State sex scandal that happened. What's the punishment? They take wins away from teams. Ooh. Yeah, they took wins away from teams that won the game. Wow, good one. You really got them. This is completely different. This is a team that cheated. You don't deserve an award if you cheat. 2017, and if they find significant findings for 2018, just vacate them. Those titles should be vacated.
Need to be, yeah.
Those titles, nobody won
the
2017.
awards
no
need
one
to
won
be
2018.
vacated too. Altuve should not have won the MVP in 2017 anyway, based on the stats alone. But based on this, you got to take it away.
just take away everything that happened in the 2017 World Series, all awards, everything.
Even the Houston Astros Twitter account is posting obnoxious stuff. They had the Houston Awards last night for the whole city or whatever, and apparently Crane won Owner of the Year, Altuve won Moment of the Year, and Bregman won Player of the Year. And they're like, congratulations on Twitter, and everyone is bashing them for this. You're idiots.
Astros Twitter, whoever's in charge of social media. Look at me. Listen, I want you to lean back really far. Swing your head forward and headbutt yourself. I want you to smash your own head into your own head.
And please bleed out. So
I don't know how you're going to do it, but you got to do it somehow for the greater cause because we hate you and you suck and kiss my balls.
I don't know who I hate more, though, right now. Altuve, Bregman, or Manfred. I think all three of them are idiots, and they're not doing it the right way. The fact that Altuve came out when they asked him questions about cheating and said, "Oh, everything's going to be fine. We're going to make the World Series this year. We're going to win the World Series this year." Those are three things that are extremely inappropriate to say right now, okay? You need to shut up, and you should have a punishment. You don't have one, so shut up and wait for the season.
Right. This is somehow. I mean, this is more botched than the whole steroid scandal.
Yeah, 100%. And you can tell that people are that much more pissed off. I don't think anyone cares about the steroid era now with this bullshit.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think this is gonna go away. I think that the Astros. I mean, if you really think about what the Patriots did, I mean, they recorded people. It didn't lead to them winning a championship. They've been caught kind of bending the rules here and there. Deflategate happened, but even that's kind of
It's
you
so
know
different though, because
you don't really know if Deflategate. First of all, you don't even really know if it happened.
Yeah.
Because the investigation didn't really yield conclusive evidence.
Yeah.
And also, they won that game like 55 to like 12.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me if the balls were inflated, they wouldn't have won that game? Get the fuck out of here, please. So the Patriots, they keep trying to do this.
Yeah, and I hate the Patriots, but I made this point on Twitter. You don't have a losing team cheat, right? Because there's no point. You have teams that are that much closer to winning a championship, a top 4 team. They're going to tweak little things to get that advantage.
Yeah.
That's what the Astros did, because, yes, they were a top 5 team in 2017, and they had to use it to be the number 1 team.
This is a team that cheated, and the Patriots did it too, but this is a team that cheated their way to a championship. This is a team that, I mean, when you think of the World Series, that's what teams want to win.
And the fact that it happened 2 years in a row, potentially, is really not okay.
So I'll tell you what. Instead of just cheating at baseball to get your victories, just play in the Special Olympics. You'll win. You'll beat them every time. And then you won't have to cheat. Just do that. That's where you belong.
I mean, Altuve would be great in the Special Olympics. He would really...
Yeah, and I like to picture him hitting a mammoth home run off of someone, and then kind of pimping around the bases.
Bat flip.
Yeah, and then the kid who throws the kid. It's not a kid. It's like an adult grown male. I'm so terrible. And that person just kind of starts crying. Okay, let's move on. Are we done with cheating scandals?
I guess so. I mean,
all I want to do is just say "fuck you" over and over and over and over again. But that's not good radio. That's not good podcasting.
Yeah, it's I don't know what else to say on it, because it's going to be talked about the entire season, and we should talk about it until they actually do something.
Well, I'm sure by the next episode there'll be more updates.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So, I guess we'll see where it goes from here.
Cool.
Want to talk Giants?
Let's talk Giants. Eli just retired. Congratulations to Eli. I think that's the right move.
He retired for now, yeah. I don't think any quarterback is truly retired in the NFL until I see it happen. You see guys come back.
Really hard for them to, especially a quarterback. You're the leader. You wake up every morning, you go, and you have this routine.
Yeah.
Being retired when you do that for 20 years, 17 years, it's really tough. That's a tough transition.
Good for him. The Giants are officially on their way towards, transitioning. They've already had Daniel Jones playing, but now he's officially the quarterback on that team. The Giants have a new coach. Pat Shurmur was fired a few weeks ago. And, of course, as everyone was expecting, they go with Joe Judge. Now, you might be asking yourself, who? Yes. Anything
Aaron's
else?
brother,
Anything?
right?
Yeah, Aaron's brother. Aaron's brother, Joseph Judge. He decided that baseball wasn't for him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's really talk about this, because I feel like he was so out of left field that people just don't know what to say. So let's kind of break this down to a couple of things that are true.
Okay.
First things first. Bill Belichick's coaching tree has a terrible, terrible, terrible reputation for developing good head coaches.
Yeah.
Think of all the guys that have come from there. Matt Patricia's doing a really bad job.
And yet they gave him another year to kind of prove himself, which I think is fair, but we'll see.
Eric Mangini.
Oh,
Ew.
God.
Brian Flores down in Florida down in Miami hasn't been doing well either.
I hate Eric Mangini like I hate Bobby Valentine. Like, I just...
Yeah, Mangini really sucks.
he sucks so bad.
We've got who's their offensive coordinator now? McDaniels. McDaniels was the coach of the Colts for like a year or two. Didn't do very well.
Did he go to the Broncos for a minute?
That's what it was. It was the Broncos. It was the Broncos. Josh McDaniels. Yeah, he was the coach of the Broncos. Wrong horse. Sorry. So yeah, he goes to the Broncos. Doesn't really do very well either. There's nobody. But here's the funny part. All of these guys end up beating Patriots teams. They end up beating Bill Belichick. He has like a 500 win percentage against teams coached by his former coaches under him.
Yeah.
I mean, or not just coaches, but players too. We just saw the Titans knock him off, and Vrabel was the Patriots. What was he? A linebacker.
That is true. Yeah.
So the guys.
I think Vrabel's a good coach, though.
I think he's a really good coach.
I think he's a really good coach.
He did Belichick's clock loophole against him.
Right.
So like all these guys that come from the Patriots system can beat the Patriots because they know, but like they don't know what else they don't bring with it. Because here's the problem. So this happened really badly to Matt Patricia, and it's happened to a couple other guys. They try to bring the Patriots swagger with them. They try to bring the Patriots swagger, and they try to do things the Patriots way. And then the players go, okay, but like you're not Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Now you're going to come here and act like him? Why? What have you done?
Plus, Bill Belichick's done it for over 20 years with the Patriots. Mm-hmm. You're coming in as a first-time head coach trying to bring someone else's system with your own swag. It doesn't work that way. Just be you.
Yeah.
Like, part of the reason why Rex Ryan worked for at least the first 3 years was because he brought that arrogant swag that was hilarious to watch. But then when we stopped winning, it became so stale and so
Ryan
awful.
Was from the Ravens.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But he came over, and then he had this rivalry with Belichick.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't mean he learned from Belichick. I just mean...
Got it. All right, so that's one thing about Joe Justice, whatever the fuck your name is. No one knows what your name is. You suck. Another thing is he was a special teams coach.
Right.
And you might think to yourself, why in the world would you do that? Well, here's the thing. There have been actually some pretty successful special teams coaches. John Harbaugh was a special teams coach before he was an NFL head coach. Here's the thing. Coordinators are really, really good at what they do, right? So an offensive coordinator is really good with offense because they always deal with the offensive players. And then defensive coordinator, same thing. Really, really good at defense, really, really good at connecting with the defensive players. A special teams coach has to kind of connect with all players because there's offensive and defensive players on special teams. Right. So this is a guy who's able to kind of connect with everyone and able to manage everyone.
What do you think about them bringing in Jason Garrett, the former Cowboys coach?
It's funny. I actually think Jason Garrett's it's weird because recently Jason Garrett's kind of lost a little bit of his creativity. I feel like he's made some pretty bad decisions on offense. Offensive coordinator, yeah. But before he was the Cowboys head coach, Jason Garrett was a really good offensive coordinator. Yeah. I still think he can be good. It's just that he was placed in this position of head coach to where now he's calling all the shots. Yeah. I think if you put him back as offensive coordinator, have him answer to someone, the plays can kind of filter through somebody else. I think he can come up with some really, really cool plays as long as he has someone else saying to him, dude, we got to get creative.
It also might rejuvenate him because, he, like you said, he's going to now be the offensive guy. He can do his own kind of swag style on it and doesn't have to rely on going to the media each week and answering all the tough questions about why the team's shitty or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And he can clap to his heart's content. Yeah. He can just clap.
I don't like him. I guess I don't like his face maybe.
I don't like him because he's a ginger.
Yeah, that's probably it.
You know, he's just ugly and I want to hit him in the mouth.
Like I love South Park. I love all the ginger episodes. They crack me up.
Yeah, I love South Park too, especially the episode about Scientology.
That's one of the best ones.
When Tom Cruise goes in the closet and R. Kelly shows up with his gun. I think we've run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. Take care, guys.
Yeah, I got it.